Paddling white water safely requires eddy turns. Here's how arcs play a role. This is the first of a three-part series on eddy turns and has been supported by CAPT canoes. CAPT, inspired by paddlers, motivated by adventure.
Canoes carve beautiful arcs. Tandem canoeists use MITH as a guide to carving arcs. Start by building momentum, then initiate the turn, tilt, and hold. Solo paddlers carve using 2x4, using paddle cadence, angle, position, and boat tilt, or CAPT, to control the carve of an arc. But what do we really mean by arc? Well, it's the carving path of the canoe, whether out of or into an eddy.
Let's step back a moment and think about it another way. Imagine being a kid playing ball with a friend. A simple toss to your friend needs to be hard enough to travel the distance between the two of you and arced upwards to resist the downward pull of gravity. Now, if your buddy were to move further away, you would throw a bit harder and likely with more arc to increase its range. If your target is even further away, you'd throw a bit harder still and create a longer arc in order to travel a greater distance.
So, let's see how this relates to canoeing. Just like throwing a ball, carving arcs in a canoe can come in different sizes based on how far away your destination is. The range of your arc can vary from short, medium, to long.
So what about the downstream current? It pulls the canoe downstream just like gravity pulls the ball to earth. Suppose you want to stay close to the shore you're starting from. So, like tossing the ball, you want to throw the canoe into the current so that it will arc downstream to your target. Likewise, if your exit needs to extend further out into the river, the arc becomes wider. And if your route needs to cross the river, then the range of the arc will be the widest in order to reach further away from your starting point.
Let's get back in the canoe. If your goal is close to your start eddy, paddle a tight arc with a short range. When your destination is further out in the current, increase the range of your arc by widening its shape. Distant cross-current maneuvers will need the longest, most open arc of all. Always plan your arc with the endpoint in mind.
Now let's see how arcs are used on the river. When planning an eddy exit, there are a few options that all require arcs. A C-turn will use a short, tight arc to stay close to shore. A peel-out intended to take you down the middle of the river will have a wider arc. And planning an S-turn may require the most open arc of all. In fact, it will lead into yet another arc, one that takes you into an eddy on the opposite side of the river.
Check out how gracefully the canoe completes this S-turn. By beginning the arc in the eddy pool well before the eddy line, the canoe carves smoothly into the downstream current. Do the same for the eddy entry. Start the arc and current before the eddy line with the destination planned deep in the eddy pool.
Planning your arc starts in the eddy pool. Point your canoe into your imagined arc, providing enough space to get the canoe going and to initiate the arc, all while still in the pool.
Arcs are adjustable. One option for solo or tandem canoes is to reduce momentum when entering the current to tighten the arc. Likewise, adding momentum will increase the range of your arc to help you cross the river. The same works for entering eddies. Slowing your speed tightens your arc, keeping you closer to the eddy line. And paddling an arc deeper in the pool needs more momentum to drive you closer to shore. Tandem canoes also use the elements of MITH plus bow cuts to control arcs. Solo canoeists will use the elements of CAPT to tighten or widen arcs. Arcs need boat tilt. Tilt does two things. It uses the edge of the canoe to help it track around the arc and prevent the canoe from skidding sideways. And it provides stability. When exiting an eddy pool, you will always be ready to cross the eddy line and into current with a stable, tilted canoe. Canoeists often link together many arcs of different sizes. The size of the arc depends on how far you need to travel, either into current or into an eddy pool.
Arcing a canoe into current can be compared to throwing a ball. The distance you need to arc into current is a lot like how far you need to pass a ball to a catcher. Carving arcs will keep you stable and help the canoe stay on course. Best of all, they're easy to adjust for any eddy turn. And they're fun too. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos as they become available. See you on the river.